What is up, everybody? Episode 46, the OGs podcast. There he is, H. Mays.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jason, and everybody out there. Nice time of year.
This time of year.
Why is that?
Because I know you're not a tenth of as busy or like strung out on all this shit that I am.
No.
And so many are.
I'm not.
You're just chill, right? It's just another couple of days.
It's kind of like a normal, week for me. I went out and met a bunch of my fraternity brothers from Shippensburg University last night in King of Prussia. We had a blast.
Yeah, Tri-Delts there?
No.
Lambda.
Sigma Tau Gamma was the fraternity at Shippensburg.
Okay. And, STG.
Yeah, they were great guys. And I flunked out of Shippensburg, but I met those guys, so it was worth
it. By in large part because you met those guys.
Exactly. It's exactly right. Yeah. But I went out last night, and the wife went out last night. She's working today. She takes care of all the Christmas stuff.
Oh,
like she enjoys it.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
Have her right in line.
No. She would do this regardless of if I was disapproving or not, and which I wouldn't be. But she loves it.
Oh, my wife's handled a ton too. Like she's a maniac, so it's great. But yeah, it's a chaotic week, and then with trying to finish up work, like the Flyers are playing today.
Why?
At 2:00.
Why?
I don't know. These Canadians, Harry, I'll tell you.
They're messed up, aren't they?
They're having some sort of like kids' day or something in Toronto. I don't even know how they do that because like the building's sold out with a wait list in Toronto. Okay. So I don't know. They have it during the day for some, I don't know. Maybe they stick them in an auditorium and they watch a Leafs game together.
Are they outside, like where the fans gather when the Toronto Raptors were in the finals, like right outside?
That square?
Yeah.
I doubt it. It's probably a little chilly in Ontario.
But they don't
unless you got a sheet out there they can pull.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't.
These Canadians don't care. They're like you.
Yeah, a bunch of Yukons. And so the Flyers play at 2:00 today. So we have a pregame show at 1:30.
Right. And then you have to do the in-between periods and the postgame, right?
Yeah, doing it all from home, though, because they're on the road, which is great. So that makes it a bit easier. But, yeah, it's bizarre to have a 2:00. And then they play again tomorrow in Carolina tomorrow night.
Wow. Now, are you on video for that, too, or is it just audio?
Well, for the radio part, it's just audio, but we do stream the pregame and postgame show along with the radio.
Now, where can people get that?
Right here. We're at the same places. Yeah. The Twitter and, the YouTube and all that crap.
Beautiful.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So, yeah, they got that going on today, and they're coming off a win, so that's good.
Yeah.
So you all settled for Christmas? Do you get the Lima anything for the holiday?
I told you we donate to charities and stuff.
But you don't pick her up anything, Harry, like a few stocking stuffers or something?
No. I mean, we do this throughout the year. I mean, why wait until, and save it for Christmas? Like if I want something or she wants something in April, we'll go get it in April.
She doesn't ever say, why don't you wait? Maybe I'll get you that for Christmas.
No, that never gets spoken in this house.
That phrase does not get uttered.
No. No.
Is there anything in particular that you've seen of late, Harry, that you go, well, I would really like that, but you wouldn't buy it for yourself?
No, pretty much I'd buy it for myself, everything. I got fitted for a new putter yesterday.
I saw that tweet.
Which was a great experience. So that, that's sort of like a Christmas gift.
So that's modern technology. I know you were raving about the technology.
Yes, it's unbelievable. It's technology on steroids, and it's a local company too, Makefield, over in Bensalem. But so there's that. We just had an issue here at the house where we have mice and termites.
Oh, the combo platter. Harry.
So with the combo mambo, we're going to have to take care of that. So that's sort of like a Christmas gift that we have to purchase for ourselves to maintain this house.
So, okay, let me ask you a couple or three questions on that.
Yeah.
Number one, how did you find out you had termites? How did you find out about the termite rot?
Well, we found out that we had mice first because we have the Terminix guys come, every so often to, inspect and do, treat the house for bugs and all that shit, right? So they came by to do that, and the guy found, 3 of the mice traps had mice in them. So he's like, we got to address this. Like, this isn't. When you have one mouse, you got more. Okay. Yeah. So they came by to inspect for that, and we decided to put together a plan where they seal off the house and make sure that,
sealing the holes with caulk and
everything, and then take care of them inside. So that's going to happen. But while they were like walking around inspecting, I said, what about this? And I saw this little opening, this little like hole, almost a narrow hole in the floorboard right inside my front door. And I said, what is that? And the guy went down, put the light on it. He's like, termites. And I'm like, get out of here. And he's like, seriously, dude, this guy knows, he knows mice. I mean, I learned more about mice and termites than I need to know from this guy. And he said, yeah, you got termites. And I'm like, well, we got to take care of that immediately. So they're doing both on Tuesday.
Okay. So they're going to treat it so that the termite damage isn't significant enough that you got structural issues, as far as you know.
Correct. But if we let it go, it's going to. So
now, were these mouse traps outside?
No, they were inside in the storage room that we have down here.
Did you hear them snap at all?
I have not.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
That's always fun. You hear, like, you're trying to fall asleep and you hear it snap.
No,
you're like, God, geez, now I got to get up and get this thing out of here.
But there's a certain way you got to set them.
Yeah.
You got to set them right against the wall.
Yeah, that's where they run.
Because that's where they run. They always want to have a wall. I learned that, like right next to them.
Yeah.
And they follow their own pheromones. That's how they find their way back, if you will. Like if they find their way into the house, they're going to sense like there's heat coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
And from inside your house. And then they'll get into that crack and they'll find their way back out because they leave a trail of their own pheromones. I didn't know anything about this.
And they have these little tiny shits everywhere.
Yes.
They crap like crazy, these mice.
Right. So you got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And hope that they don't ruin your insulation, like in your attic and stuff.
Bingo.
Right.
So when I lived out in West Bradford and I was out there in the boonies, we obviously, we had some mice, especially this time of year when it gets cold, they come in. And we had my dog, our old Rottweiler's dog food downstairs, like in the bottom level of the house, the basement level.
Right.
And we come to find out, I'm sitting there watching TV down there one night, and across the mantle comes a mouse with a Hershey Kiss in its mouth.
What? like in the wrapper, in the silver wrapper?
Yes. I'm like, this son of a bitch. Right. So, and then I come to find out that this thing was like, they were foraging the food and going up the wall in the laundry room by the back door and storing the food.
Right.
So I got a shop vac up in the wall, and I will tell you, I vacuumed out with the shop vac probably a 6-pound bag of Purina out of the wall.
Wow. Oh, the wall?
Yeah, because they were storing it in the wall.
Oh my God.
Then one died in the wall and it stunk.
That's the whole thing, man. That's the whole thing. I got to avoid that.
Yeah, you do not want that because that thing stinks for a while too.
Yeah.
Lysol's not going to just mask it. It's just going to come back.
Right.
So yeah, they're a real pain in the ass, the mice.
They are, but let's say it costs you $4 or $5 grand total to eradicate the termites and the mice. It's well worth it. Your house is worth $500,000. You can't have the whole thing ruined because of these stupid critters.
Is that the kind of dough that it's going to cost? Is that the kind of contract you're about to sign?
Well, we're doing the whole schmear.
We're doing the Taj Mahal of extermination.
Right. We're not messing around.
Well, good luck with it, man. Because
we got that.
Yeah. He's got a strategy. He didn't say whether it would work.
No, it's going to work. It works.
Yeah.
Robert Elder joins the show. Says y'all should still be on the radio. Love the show.
Passed.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It depends.
I don't think we could do the radio show anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can go back. I mean, it depends on the right situation.
Yeah.
I would consider it. Let's just put it that way.
In other words, the right money.
Well, yes, that's true.
I can be bought.
That's right. It's exactly right. That's why I'm no longer there.
Yes. Yeah. You basically told them to pound sand.
Yeah.
I saw this article. All of a sudden I looked at my Twitter and I see all these mentions and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Apparently Kevin Kincaid from Crossing Broad wrote a story about that clip that was put out where we talked about sports radio, and then we had a follow-up clip, and I just kind of talked about being disappointed in the direction that the format went. We talked about it quite a bit.
Right. Yeah, I saw it. It was on the @Geez Pod Twitter feed.
Yes.
And
it's AHJEEZ.
Right.
For G's. So he put out this story, and the headline reads, apropos, 94 WIP bringing in Hugh Douglas syncs up with this Jason Myrtetus opinion. And it's just the one where I'm talking about how disappointed I am in the route that radio took. You and I were discussing it, and they just hired Hugh Douglas.
Yeah, who we love, by the way. We've had him on the podcast.
He's a friend of the show.
One of our favorites, actually.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm happy as hell that Hugh's coming back to town.
From Atlanta, yeah.
Yep. And doesn't have to get up early anymore, so that's better for his lifestyle. And he's going to be working the midday show at WIP. I guess they announced this, yesterday?
I think it was yesterday.
Wednesday?
Yeah, I think so.
So he's going to be doing the midday show with Joe Giglio because DeCamera and Richie are moving to mornings when Angelo retires.
Right, which is whenever the Eagles season ends.
Correct.
Like the day after the Eagles season ends, I guess it's the last day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's that Friday, Jonesy was telling me the other
Or if they win the Super Bowl, he would go through the parade.
Oh, he would?
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw something where if they do win the Super Bowl, which they could, he would be there for the parade, and that would be, think about that as a way to go out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
How great would that be?
That's when you consider, when you consider how critical he's been of the Eagles over the years, and some of the battles with the Eagles, executives and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But, he talks in this article about, the mindset of sports radio going Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. But sports radio was wise to go with the play the hits mentality for consistent listenership and profitability. But the medium does become exhausting when we get to May, and we're still shoving the square Eagles peg into the round hole, eschewing other legitimate topics in the process. So and somebody had tweeted me and said, WIP's always been like that. Now, when I was at WIP from 2003 to 2011, it wasn't like that. Of course, you had Allen Iverson in town.
Right.
You had, even earlier, you had Iverson, you had Lindros, you had, Pat Burrell eventually, and then you have Utley and Rollins and Howard and Cole Hamels. So for a while there, I'm not even sure when the tide turned to that, Harry.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, part of it, that predated the 97.5 too, some of those years. Maybe the fact that a competitor finally came into the marketplace might have changed that eventually.
Focused it, you think?
Yeah, it might have. I don't know.
It's a good point, because then the the issuance of ratings and competition, you go, okay, if we're not talking this, there's an alternative.
There's someplace else to go locally. Yeah, right.
But then you click over to the other place that they're doing the same thing.
Right. because eventually they tried to, instead of be different, mimic, try to, basically do the same thing. And then there was the whole, hiring of talent from this station going to this station and back and forth, and
I thought that was the thing that when I got to the Fanatic, what was good was that it was very different in presentation. To me, it was like, and I worked at both, so I worked at WIP, but that was like my dad's sports radio station. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, not my dad's, but younger people's dad's sports radio station.
Right. We came in trying to be sort of younger and hipper kind of thing.
Yeah.
At least initially.
The whole presentation was, the music in the returns was, the imaging and all of the elements of it were. And it was kind of, it was an alternative that was different. Even though Mike was there, it was still much different than WIP.
Right.
The Fanatic started guest way before WIP, more high guest before WIP did.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Mike's show was hip.
Yeah.
Compared to the alternative at that time. So
yeah.
No, I know.
And then the Fanatic kind of became WIP. And then
Junior.
WIP changed.
Like WIP 2.0. It was, or Junior.
Yeah. And then WIP kind of changed into a lot of the, with some of the guys with the hot takes and, so it just, I don't know. I don't know where it all kind of slid off the course for me, but I remember my last couple of years even working when you and I were doing the show, there weren't many shows that I could listen to.
It became less guy talk and more just, focused on the football team.
Yeah, which got exhausting.
It is. It is exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, it brought the whole thing to the Rob Ellis line. Let's get it back to the Eagles.
Right. It's
like,
hilarious.
Dude, it's May. There's nothing happening.
But I mean, our boss used to tell us. I mean, in fact, he told me at least, if you're not talking football, you have to ask yourself why.
Yeah.
And when he meant football, he meant Eagles.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
So,
but that's where it's gone. But, best of luck to Hugh because
I love Hugh.
He's a great guy.
He is. A lot of fun.
Wonder if he'll be moving back into the Glen Mills area, Harry.
Oh, yeah? Is that where
down
he
the
was?
Street from me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was down in my neck of the woods. We've gone to the old Duffers pub a few times.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I've been in there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a perfect bar for you.
Right on Route 1 there.
Yeah, there's two. There's one on Route 1 and then there's one on 352. The one on Route 1 closed.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Because that's the only one I've been to.
Yeah, that's the original.
Where's 352?
So that is at Westchester Pike and 352. That runs all the way up towards the Granite Run Mall.
Oh, okay.
Like at Route 1, that intersects with Route 1, so it's down towards like you would be going.
Is that Media?
Yeah, but the Duffers is at 926 and 352, so it's down in like Chester County area.
Okay.
So, but yeah, good spot. But Hugh's coming back to town. That's always good. So
yep.
I thought maybe it made more sense to have Hugh in mornings.
Well, when I think of him, and the way his personality is, I think of him as a morning guy.
Yeah.
Bit
irreverent.
But maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah,
he's doing mornings
the
in Atlanta.
Existing show there too.
Yeah.
With Richie and DeCamera. So
right.
I mean, could you imagine? Like John Ritchie's a really laid back dude.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine? Like he's been dealing with DeCamera for years.
Oh, God bless him.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably ready to pull his eyebrows out. But now he's got to deal with him at like 5 a.m.
Oh, I know.
John, how are you?
I know.
It's great to be with you. Richie's gonna be like, "Would you shut up?" And then Seltzer too is like a ball of energy.
Oh, he'll be up at 2 a.m.
Oh,
with it bouncing around,
leg shaking.
Yeah, the legs shaking.
Oh my God, those 2 a.m. I'd be like, "Oh my God, you have got to get away."
All right, I got to tell you about Psalm sleep because Hugh Douglas is going to start to be able to sleep in now.
He's going to get Psalm sleep.
Maybe he will be getting Psalm sleep. If you're having trouble getting enough sleep at night, Psalm sleep has you covered. The scientifically advanced Psalm stack includes ingredients that are naturally found right now in your body. Sleep is the best form of recovery, and it has helped NFL founder and NFL tight end Colin Thompson take his game to the next level. And it's quite simple. All you got to do is drink one serving just 30 minutes before bedtime, and your body's going to naturally calm itself down. Other sleep supplements will leave you groggy in the morning, but not Psalm sleep. You're going to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to conquer the day. Have you ever conquered the day?
No, not that I'm aware of, Harry.
I'm still trying to conquer a day.
Yeah,
but you got to make sure.
I conquered an hour.
Yeah. Then you need some sleep, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you check them out at getsom.com and use the code GEEZ, Jeez, for 10% off your order.
Yeah, I have not conquered a day, but I've maybe conquered, a quarter hour.
Right. And you've conquered Ville Nissan before.
Yes, I have. My son's 16 now.
Yeah, I know.
Holy shit.
Yeah. How about
that? We took him out to a nice steak dinner last week in Westchester at Pietro's Prime. And like he didn't know how to handle himself in a nice restaurant. He spilled water on the friggin' table.
Jesus.
Yeah, because he's reaching over everything, grabbing everything. Like
I mean, you got to teach this guy the manners.
Yeah, like he's at the hockey rink. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. See, you hockey guys are just animals.
I know.
They're really just animals.
I mean, eating with his hands in a nice white tablecloth restaurant.
Taking the rolls and just tearing them apart and the crumbs going everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, was it a place where they come by with the little crumb thing and scrape the crumbs off the tablecloth? And
yeah, they would have done that, except for he made the tablecloth a swamp when he spilled the full water and ice all over my phone. I'm like, jeez.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. It was at night, Harry.
Your life is a constant geez moment.
Well, Ange had an ear infection too.
You're freezing.
What? I can't hear you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, here we go. Right on cue. Your internet stinks. What is happening?
I know, and I'm on Ethernet too.
What?
I don't know.
Does this ever happen during the Flyers broadcast?
It does, yeah.
It does.
But yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, but well, yeah. So Ange had an ear infection. She couldn't hear anything. So she's constantly saying, I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, can somebody please just get rid of my hearing?
Stick a fork in my eardrum right now. Was she like Joe Paterno? Remember Joe? Huh? I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Yeah. The thing is too, whenever you go to a nice restaurant with Ange, and I said this to Evan before we go, I guarantee Ev, the first thing she's going to say she wants on the menu is the most expensive thing on the menu.
Right.
And we're there, and she's like, I'm going to get, the Brussels sprouts, and they have this, and they have that. And she orders a ton of food. And she's like, I think I'm going to get the surf and turf. The bone-in filet mignon and lobster.
And lobster.
I'm going, geez, do we have to fill out a mortgage application while we're here?
Oh, my goodness.
Do you have to always order the most expensive thing?
Now, does she eat it all, or is it a lot of take home?
She'll take it home and eat it, but
right.
Yeah, but I mean, her eyes are way bigger than her stomach.
Right.
So she's
didn't you take her to the fondue place once?
Yeah, the melting pot, Harry.
The melting pot. I remember there was a big discussion.
Mikey Miss gave me a lot of shit for that
on Mikey Miss's show way back in the day.
It was an anniversary dinner. We went, and he was giving me crap. He's like, how are you going to take her? I go, that's where she wanted to go.
Right.
He's like, you still can't take her. I'm like, she wanted to go.
Right. Yeah.
That's him interjecting into my life again.
Right. The single man telling you how to conduct yourself. Right.
My successful marriage.
Right. It's worked so well for him. Jesus.
Maybe you should have went to the melting pot.
Exactly right.
Would you rather go to the melting pot, Harry?
Well, I had some sad news in the world of sports the other day. In fact, I think it was Monday. Was it Monday or when? I even forget.
I think
Monday
it was Tuesday.
Tuesday was when it happened, I think. But Monday afternoon, I'm driving around and I'm listening to Mad Dog on Mad Dog Sports Radio. I like the national sports. And he's starting his show talking about the Immaculate Reception, which the 50th anniversary is like this weekend. And he's talking about Franco Harris, and Franco Harris is coming up on the show at 3:30. So, he does his first segment and they go into Franco Harris. And I listened to it. And Franco's 72 years old, sounded pretty good. Had a couple of, once or twice he had to cough. But other than that, I thought he sounded pretty good for a 72-year-old football player that's been, hit a lot, right? I wake up the next day, 6 a.m., and find out that he passed away.
Yeah.
And
he was talking about how he was very happy that he got to the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, which is tomorrow.
Right. I mean, he was 22 years old. He was a rookie out of Penn State when that happened. And I happened to watch that live. Wow. I was 7 years old, and that was the first year, 72, that season, where I really, as a kid, remember diving into the NFL. And I was immersed in it. And I watched that play happen live. I saw the entire season play out. The Dolphins go 17-0. And I started to think about all the stuff that I've been fortunate enough to see, to witness either on television or in person or whatever over the course of my life. It's staggering to me. And I feel really fortunate. But I saw that play and I fell in love with the NFL films too, which were huge, where they just documented everything that went on in the league, and they'd name these games. They named it the Immaculate Reception, the Sea of Hands game, which was, the Raiders against the Dolphins, the Holy Roller play, which was the Raiders against the Chargers, all this shit.
The Ice Bowl.
Yes. The Ice Bowl. That I didn't see. That was in the late 60s. I was alive, but I didn't see it. And if I did see it, I don't remember it. My mom says that I watched Super Bowl IV, which was the Vikings and the Chiefs. And I was just spellbound by it, but I don't remember that. I remember 1972.
Yeah.
Vividly.
That's your first memories of sport.
Yes. So the Oakland A's dynasty began that year, like 72, 73, 74. I believe they won 3 straight World Series, including playing against the Mets with an old broken down Willie Mays.
Wow.
You know, so I remember all of that, like O.J. Simpson breaking the 2,000-yard mark in a season, which was 1973, I believe. I watched that game, and it was on. I think it was at Shea Stadium against the Jets, and it was snowing.
Yeah.
You know,
then
like
you
all
saw
this
him
shit.
running from the Bronco.
Exactly. In 1994, the Bronco chase, which was going up against the NBA Finals that year. I was living in North Carolina, and I saw that, you know, transpire. The whole trial in 1996. I couldn't get enough of it, you know, and like all this shit. Like I saw Henry Aaron's 715th home run. I believe it was like a Monday night, you know, at the start of the season in early April, and it was on TV, and I was sitting there as a 9-year-old or whatever, just right in front of the television, just like watching history. I saw all the, you know, the Flyer Cup runs, the 80 Phils, the 83 Sixers. Reggie Jackson hit the 3 home runs, you know, in the playoffs for the Yankees, like all those great teams. Joe Montana's entire career, including at Notre Dame with the chicken soup game against the University of Houston in the Cotton Bowl.
Wow.
You know, like all this shit. It's amazing.
And you feel like if like the things that are happening today, people aren't seeing. Because like there's so many options now. Like you didn't have all these options of consumption then.
Right.
You know, YouTube and Hulu and all this stuff.
There was no distractions for me.
No.
Right.
And when you watch something, you actually watched it.
Right. You didn't watch it while scrolling your phone and not really paying attention to what's going on.
Yep. Or reading the ticker on the screen.
Right.
For that matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, Muhammad Ali, you know, I was fortunate enough to watch a lot of that transpire, you know, some of Jack Nicklaus's career, all of Tiger Woods's career.
Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson. I mean, Jesus. I saw the lunar landings. I saw President Nixon resign.
Do you remember Bud Dwyer offing himself?
Well, I do. That was terrible.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
That was like the first viral moment.
It might have been, you know, that was incredible. I mean, you know, but that OJ thing really launched cable news, you know, into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
You know,
the trial did because it was 24/7.
Yes.
You had the trial all day and then the pundits talking about it and breaking it down. Judge Ito.
Right.
And Marsha Clark and Chris Darden. The fact that I remember Barry Sheck.
I know they were like stars.
I remember these names.
Yeah, they were like TV stars.
Yeah, I didn't even mention obviously, you know, Robert Kardashian or Johnny Cochran, you know, some of the big players involved. It was crazy.
Yeah, and Greta Van Susteren became a household name.
Yes.
You know? I mean, Jesus.
What was the dude's name that found the glove about the house guest, the dude with the long hair?
Oh,
remember that?
Kato Kalin.
Yes.
Yes.
He was a star for a while.
Yes.
This guy's doing appearances.
I know. I know. But I saw Bird and Magic in the NCAA finals in 1979. And then that launched really the greatest decade or 2 decades of the NBA history, in my view, the 80s and the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I was glued to that shit.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Jordan, the 8 championships or what, 6 championships?
6 championships
in 8 years because he took 2 years off.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those years was 94 when Houston won their back-to-back championships.
Right.
With Hakeem.
Right.
Wow. That's incredible. Who was the coach of that Houston? Was that Rudy Tomjanovich?
Rudy T, I believe. Yeah. And I saw him get punched.
Yes. By Latrell Sprewell.
No.
He tried to strangle
that was Carlissimo.
PJ Carlissimo. I'm crossing my streams, Harry.
Yes, you are. But I thought, you know, I saw all those, you know, the Islander dynasties, you know, for those 4 years, the Canadians, the Oilers, you know, it was like dynasty after dynasty in hockey after the Flyers won their 2 cups.
Yeah, well, the Canadians won it 4 years in a row after they knocked out the Flyers in '76. Then the Islanders win 4 in a row. And then you have the Edmonton team, which won 4 and 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just incredible teams.
I saw the gold, you know, the U.S. team winning the gold in
Miracle
in hockey in 1980.
Yeah. What thing people don't remember about that is actually the game against Russia, the Miracle on Ice game, was actually a semifinal game.
That was the semis. They had to beat Finland, I believe, after that,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Fighting Finns.
Can you imagine if they didn't win that game?
Oh my God, that would have been
I mean, do you
the
believe
biggest
in
travesty.
miracles? Do you believe in silver medals?
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing, to win the gold, and that
Yeah.
was also the miracle, because
And
they
even
weren't
when the Russians came to play the Flyers, like when they did that tour in the United States where they were in Canada, where they were taking on the
76.
NHL teams.
Eddie Van Amp
Mhm.
took the guy out. He lives not far down the road from me right here.
Is that right?
Yeah,
How's he doing?
He's old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, he's in the area.
Hmm.
His daughter went to high school with my sister, or middle school,
Okay.
or high school, I guess it was, and tragically passed in a car accident when they were in like 10th grade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's so many great memories when you think back at it. I mean, like this past weekend, it was crazy with that comeback in the NFL.
Oh yeah, the Minnesota game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, think about
hell?
Matt Ryan, what he has been through, giving up the 8-3 lead in the Super Bowl at halftime, and then giving up a 33-0 lead in an important game for Minnesota, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
You got to get over there on the sideline and say, you have got to wake up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the defense, you score 33, you should win the game. Okay. Seriously.
The thing is it all of a sudden that comeback just grabs momentum, and it becomes something you can't get your arms around.
Yeah. Well, I witnessed, speaking of that, the Frank Reich game I saw when I was living in North Carolina.
Buffalo Bills.
I think they were down 35-3 at halftime against the Oilers and Warren Moon. And you're thinking, this game's
the run and shoot.
Yeah. And they came back and won it.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the old run and shoot offense.
Absolutely. Jim Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Let's tell the people about investing their money, Harry, because
yes,
you're spending a little more maybe than you wanted in the holiday season. You got to make sure in the new year you get things back in order.
Get a financial plan going for 2023. Wealth Advisory Services. If you don't know them, you should. Paul, Dave, and the entire team over there have over 100 years of first-class service working with all different levels of investors across the country. And there's something more powerful than luck or coincidence that helps to bring financial independence. It's called planning, and as pros dedicated to continuing education and a high standard of ethics, they leave nothing to chance. Wealth Advisory Services coordinate with other trusted pros to ensure seamless management of your assets with services that range from portfolio management, insurance, tax, estate, retirement planning, and beyond. Located in Bucks County, PA, and Cape May, New Jersey, wealthadvisoryservices.com, a personalized approach to managing your wealth.
There you go.
Yeah.
So are you doing anything? Are you going anywhere for dinner for the holiday here?
We'll go up to my brother-in-law's place for Christmas Day.
All right, nice.
Yeah, because they got kids. You got the nephews up there.
Yeah, they got to stay on home base.
Yeah, exactly. So if that's Sunday, Christmas is Sunday. There's 3 NFL games on that day, and I think they all stink.
Is that right?
Yes. I love it though, because it's on a Sunday. So the NFL it's pushing their way in to what the NBA likes to call their day.
The NBA. I love this.
The NBA starts at noon and it goes all the way through to like midnight or something. There's like 5 games on, I believe.
ESPN should mix their coverage.
Yeah.
Run a 2 deep zone with the NBA guys and the NFL guys on the same set.
Yeah, but there's 3 lousy NFL games on, but I'll still watch the NFL.
Yeah. Well, it's the NFL.
As crazy as that is. Saturday's going to be a good day in the NFL, though.
Yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys, 4:25, I believe.
And no hurts.
No hurts. And, of course, you don't like to see anybody get hurt, especially him. But I was wondering why the coach chose, I believe yesterday, to tell everybody that Minshew is going to be the starter.
Yeah, why tip the hand?
Is that really necessary? I mean, I kind of figured it was going to be Minshew anyway, because the Eagles only need to win 1 more game to clinch home field throughout, which is huge, and they'll get it. And they might even beat Dallas with Minshew. I wouldn't rule that out at all. But why tell them Wednesday? Like, I would still leave it kind of
game
Dallas
time
thinking
decision.
Like, hey, it could be Jalen Hurts. We got to prepare for him because they're different quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would have strung it out as long as I could. That was within the rules. So that's what I would have done. Yeah, I don't know why.
Sometimes I just wonder, like Doug was very candid. Like he would let you know what he was thinking. It's like, dude, you really just keep that in the locker room. We don't need to know that.
Yeah, keep that under wraps.
Yeah.
No reason to put it out there.
But I still think they can beat Dallas on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
They're a good team. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, totally solid.
All right, Harry, we got to wrap it up because you got anybody else we need to mention?
Oh, yeah, we got Fudge Kitchen, the original Fudge Kitchen, sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odds Pod, staple of the Jersey Shore, 6 locations, Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The original Fudge Kitchen makes all their fudge, all their treats in the store, guaranteeing a delicious product. Stop by and let them know that N4L sent you. But if you're not able to visit in person, it's not a problem because they ship across the USA. Be sure to check them out at fudgekitchens.com. The original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats across the country.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. We got to wrap it up because I got to get the Flyers coverage, Harry. I know you'll be listening and watching.
Absolutely.
The boys in Toronto for a little matinee weekday hockey action. Yeah.
Against Matthews, huh?
Matthews, Marner, Tavares.
Yeah. Oof. It's a good squad.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be in the pipes today.
Yeah.
Not with that release of Matthews. Holy cow. That guy can fire the pill.
Exactly.
All right. Have a good Christmas. Everybody have a good, safe holiday. And we'll be back next week. We'll crank her up once again. And then we'll get closer and closer to 2023. Holy cow. It's almost insane to say. 2023.
It really is.
Wow.
You're right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching episode 46 of the Odd G's podcast.